In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up and customize your invoice templates in Tally accounts. So before you start generating invoices and sending them out, you may want to include your company logo and other various information on that template. To do this, all you need to do is click the settings menu on the left hand side of the screen. Once you're in the settings menu, if you scroll down, you'll see under configuration settings, you have the option for PDF themes. If we click in here, you have the choice of clean or classic. Both views are very similar, but the classic view will give you more options with settings. You can also add unlimited amount of themes just by clicking add new theme in the top right hand side of the screen. When you want to choose what your default theme is going to be, just highlight it and click on the green tick box and then click OK, and we can now see that the classic is now my default theme. If I click into that, we can now start amending it. I can change the font color, the font size. I can choose where I want the title position to be aligned and also the title size. You can choose whether or not to include your company address, or if you don't want to show any address at all. You could specify a different address that you want to appear when you use this invoice template. We can then choose the size of the font in here again, and also do we want it centered below or above the image, and whether we want it aligned on the right or not displayed at all. We can choose our date format. If we then go across to the images tab at the top, we can choose to include a logo, and all we do is just click upload a logo, choose the file. So if we go into our training here and I've got my company logo in here, I can just click on it, upload it, and there's my logo. I can then choose how large I want that, and if I want it on the right, the center, or the left hand side of the invoice itself. If you are taking debit or credit card payments through Tally accounts, you can choose to include a pay online button when you send these invoices out. You can also decide whether or not you want to include an overdue or a paid stamp on the actual invoice itself to show if that transaction is actually overdue or if it has been paid. You can adjust all the borders and margins, so you can move the text alignment in from the left, the right, the top or the bottom. So if you've got large logos and images, etc., you can move all of these around. You can also choose if you want borders on the invoice or not, so you can remove them away or include them. If you go to miscellaneous options, you can choose whether or not you want the VAT broken out on each individual line, or if you just want the total of VAT listed at the bottom of the invoice itself. You can also show the combined total for VAT rates on that, or just show a subtotal for each different VAT rate. So if you've got some that are some transactions may be 0 rated on the invoice, some may be 20%, you can choose how you want that laid out. If you've got clients who are doing customer deposits or part payments, you can choose to show those payments and when they've been received on an invoice if we're resending that out to a customer. We have our document footer as well, so we can add in our company registered address at the bottom of the invoice itself. You can also add in text boxes for purchase invoices, packing slips, quotes and invoices. So you might want to put your bank information in here for backs payments, and that will add that into the invoice itself. If you go to field names, you can then relabel all the headings and titles within the invoice itself. So if you're a service-led business and you don't necessarily need the quantity field, you could just remove it, so the description of the work that you've carried out will actually be the first thing on the invoice itself. Alternatively, you could relabel that to hours or days, depending on how your business is set up. Once you've done that, all you need to do is scroll to the bottom of the screen and you can save and preview or save and exit. So if I hit save and preview, I want to see what that looks like. I've got one invoice in the system, so if I just select invoice number 1 to see what our new template is going to look like, and we can now see that my logo now appears on the left. I've put my borders around all my information on there as well. And if we look here, my bank account information would now store on this box here, and my company address is now listed at the bottom of the screen. So that's what my new invoice template is going to look like. If you do have letterheads within your business or watermarks that you want on the page or different accreditation logos and information that you typically store on invoices you already create, rather than including a logo on your documents, you can upload a background image. So if you just click include a background image, if I just click upload, I can then choose the file, and we can see that I've got some created in here already. So I can just click on that, click upload, and basically this is going to upload a background image onto my invoice. So we can now see I've got a banner at the bottom and I've changed the background color to blue. Because I've got a logo at the bottom, I might just want to move the text up a bit and also move it down from the top. Again, we can choose whether we want those borders in there, but if I just save and preview what our invoice is now going to look like, if I click on invoice number 1, we can now see, obviously I've got blue headed paper, my logo's there because it's still on the background image, but I've got my banner at the bottom there. So you can add any information you want into there to do that. So basically, to build these background templates, if you've got the transaction in Word itself, all you need to do is just create a new Word document. So this may be your invoice template that you're already using. And then if you open up that template, all we need to do is add in logos and various things into here. And basically what happens is, once you've created your template, so if I just come through and add in my company logo, so I'm just going to come and copy this one here, open up my Word document, and I'm just going to paste my image in now. So this is what I want, and I can basically, because it's in Word, you can customize this as much as you want. You can move all the margins around to fit that all in. If you go to insert and design, you can add other bits in here. So you might want page color. So in here I can just go and change the page color if I wish to. You could also have things like page borders. So I might want to go and put like a box border around the invoice, and you can basically customize these. And then you can basically move it around and add other information in here. If I file and save as, all I need to do is just, so I'm going to save that into my docs folder here, and I'm just going to save that as a PDF. So instead of a Word template, I'm going to save it as a PDF, and I'm just going to hit save, and that's now converted that to a PDF. Now in Tally accounts, we can't import PDF files, we can only import images. So basically all you need to do is, there is a website which is called pdf-to-jpeg.net. So if you come to Google and just type in PDF to JPEG, this is going to open up our pdf-to-jpeg.net website. And once we're on here, all you do is choose the PDF file. So there's my PDF. I want it in excellent quality, and then convert that to a JPEG. We then got the option to download that as a zip file. This is all free, by the way. This doesn't cost any extra money. And then if I just click to download this file, this will just open up our new image that we've just converted. So if I click into here, hit decompress, view my folder, I've now got my invoice template listed in here. So basically all I need to do once I've done that is, if I just copy that to my desktop, if we go back into our Tally accounts package now and go to images, if I just click on my existing template I had in there and go choose a new file, if I go to my desktop in here, we'll be able to see there's my image we've just created, and now I can upload that. And that's going to have my new company logo and my border in there as well. And then I can save and preview what that's going to look like on invoice number 1. And we can see that information's come across. You can see there that my invoice details are slightly up too much because it's on the image itself. So all I need to do is go into borders and margins, and we can just move that down a bit more from the top of the screen, hit save and preview, have a look at the invoice again to make sure all the text is aligned, and there we go. There's a professional looking invoice that can be emailed and printed directly from Tally accounts. That's how easy it is to set those up, and all I need to do then is hit save and exit, and my quote and invoice template is now saved. If you've got different customers with different templates, then in the customer screen you do have the option under their options tab to choose their default template. You can see the system default is classic, but if I wanted them to have a different one, I can just select that. So every time I generate a quote or an invoice for this customer, it'll default to the correct template. And that's how easy it is just to add your logos in and do some more advanced configuration on your quote and invoice templates in Tally accounts.